The internet is a breeding ground for conspiracy theories, and the entertainment industry is prime real estate for the wildest of them all. From Avril Lavigne dying and being replaced with a look-alike, to Beyoncé faking her pregnancy, the rumor mill never stops churning. But one theory, bolder and more bizarre than most, has clung to the figure of Gucci Mane like a diamond-encrusted grill: the clone theory. And now, Nicki Minaj has thrown gasoline on the fire, alleging not only Gucci's replacement, but also the existence of a handler keeping the whole charade afloat. Buckle up, because this rabbit hole goes deep. The genesis of the Gucci clone theory can be traced back to 2013, a year that saw the rapper seemingly unravel before our very eyes. A now infamous Twitter meltdown revealed a man spiraling, accusing everyone from Nicki Minaj to Black Chyna of sleeping with him and publicly excommunicating Waka Flocka Flame from Brick Squad. It was erratic, unhinged, and undeniably fueled by something. The general consensus? Gucci was high, really high, but the erratic behavior didn't stop there. Just days later, Gucci was arrested for allegedly threatening people in traffic, resisting arrest, and possessing a firearm and drugs. This wasn't a one-off incident. He'd already been arrested earlier that year for assaulting a man in a club with a champagne bottle. Gucci was, to put it mildly, a mess. He needed help, and fast. The court sentenced him to 3 years, though he served only 2 for good behavior. During his time behind bars, something shifted. Gucci publicly acknowledged his addiction to lean, a potent and dangerous mix of codeine and promethazine cough syrup, admitting it had destroyed him. He vowed to go to rehab and turn his life around, and when he emerged from prison, he looked like a completely different person. Gone was the overweight, often disheveled Gucci. In his place stood a ripped, healthy version, seemingly years younger. His voice even sounded different, more polished, more refined. The transformation was so drastic, it ignited a firestorm of speculation. Had Gucci simply gotten clean and dedicated himself to self-improvement, or was something more sinister at play? The clone whispers started almost immediately. Whispers that grew into shouts, fueled by alleged claims from former cellmates that Gucci had died in prison and been replaced. The tinder was dry, and all it took was a spark to set it ablaze. That spark came in the form of rapper Hopsin, who unbelievably claimed to be Gucci Mane's clone. In a bizarre Instagram post, Hopsin alleged he was approached by shadowy figures who threatened his family if he didn't participate in the cover-up. He claimed he was presented with a Gucci suit and told to impersonate the deceased rapper. The internet, already primed for conspiracy, exploded. Hopsin's confession, whether genuine or a publicity stunt of epic proportions, added fuel to the already raging inferno. People began dissecting every interview, every performance, comparing the new Gucci to the old Gucci, searching for inconsistencies, for glitches in the matrix. The more they looked, the more they seemed to find. Or perhaps the more they wanted to find. Adding another layer to this already bizarre saga is Gucci's ex-girlfriend, Mac Brazy. She went live on Instagram, dropping bombshells like confetti. According to her, the real Gucci was unalived in prison and replaced. She claimed the man who emerged wasn't the same person she knew. When she confronted Kesha about her suspicions, she was brushed off, dismissed as delusional, not one to be silenced, Mac. Brazy even released a diss track, accusing Kesha of being complicit, of hiding the truth, of being essentially Gucci's handler. Y'all don't know the real Gucci. She rapped, "That ain't him." She claimed the last time she saw the real Gucci was back in 2010, and even then, something felt off. Gucci himself has addressed the clone allegations, albeit vaguely. He acknowledged his transformation, stating he morphed into a different person, shedding his old ways and growing up. He attributed the change to weight loss, self-care, and a shift in his thinking and environment. Yes, that's the transformation everybody's saying they can't believe, he said. But I can believe it. A reasonable explanation? Perhaps. Or a carefully crafted deflection? The internet remains unconvinced. Then came Nicki Minaj. In a move that sent shockwaves through social media, she entered the fray, accusing Kesha of being Gucci's handler. This accusation stemmed from an appearance Kesha and Gucci made on The Breakfast Club, during which Kesha claimed Nicki hadn't given Gucci enough credit for his role in her career. Nicki understandably took offense. She unleashed a Twitter tirade, accusing Kesha of being a paid handler whose sole purpose was to spend Gucci's money and keep him sedated. She even implicated Charlamagne Tha God, accusing him of being part of a larger conspiracy to take down Wendy Williams, just as Kesha was allegedly helping to control Gucci's clone. "Gucci wife has been trying to be me for years," Nicki tweeted. "She's there to keep Gucci sedated." She ended her rant with a chilling warning. Y'all really do not understand who I really am. Bring it. Let's play. Nicki's accusations are explosive, implying a level of industry manipulation that is both terrifying and, for some, entirely believable. The internet, of course, is having a field day. One commenter pointed out that Gucci's ex-girlfriend, who knew him longer than most, insists the current Gucci is an imposter. They also noted the clone doesn't associate with Gucci's family or childhood friends, presumably because they would immediately recognize the deception. Others have pointed to Kesha's alleged need to feed Gucci lines during interviews, further solidifying the handler narrative. But what does it all mean? Is Gucci Mane truly a clone, a manufactured replacement for the original? Is Kesha a puppet master, pulling the strings from behind the scenes? Or is this simply a case of a man overcoming addiction, transforming his life, and becoming a target for outlandish conspiracy theories? The truth, as always, is likely far more complex and far less sensational. But in the age of misinformation and deepfakes, the Gucci clone theory serves as a potent reminder of our collective fascination with the bizarre and our willingness to believe the unbelievable. The problem with conspiracy theories is that they thrive in the absence of concrete evidence. They fill the void with speculation, innuendo, and a healthy dose of paranoia. And in the case of Gucci Mane, the transformation is so stark, so undeniable that it's easy to see how the seeds of doubt were planted. Think about it. We're talking about a man who, at his lowest point, was a walking cautionary tale, a poster child for the destructive power of addiction. Then, seemingly overnight, he's reborn. Slimmed down, cleaned up, and radiating a newfound sense of purpose. It's the kind of glow-up that inspires magazine covers and self-help books, but it also raises eyebrows. Is it really so far-fetched to believe that something more was at play? That the man we see today is not the same man who was spiraling out of control just a few years ago? The human body is capable of incredible feats of resilience, but can it truly account for such a radical metamorphosis? The answer, of course, is probably yes. People change, they evolve, they overcome adversity. But the nagging doubt remains, fueled by the carefully curated narratives of ex-girlfriends, disgruntled cellmates, and Twitter rants from pop stars. And what about Kesha? The alleged handler, the puppet master, the gatekeeper of Gucci's new persona? She certainly makes for a compelling villain. A woman accused of manipulating and controlling one of hip-hop's most enigmatic figures. It's a juicy accusation, one that plays into the age-old trope of the controlling woman pulling the strings behind the scenes. But is it fair? Is there any real evidence to support these claims, or is it simply a case of guilt by association? Kesha, after all, is the one who has been by Gucci's side through thick and thin. She's witnessed his transformation firsthand. She's been his rock, his confidant, his partner. Perhaps she's simply a supportive wife, doing everything in her power to help her husband stay on the right path. Or maybe, just maybe, there's more to the story than meets the eye. Maybe she's privy to secrets we can't even begin to imagine. The truth is, we may never know the full extent of what happened to Gucci Mane during his time in prison. We may never know if he's truly the same man he was before. And we may never know if Kesha is a loving wife or a cunning manipulator. But one thing is certain, the Gucci clone theory is a fascinating reflection of our own anxieties and insecurities. It's a reminder that we live in a world where anything seems possible, where truth is often stranger than fiction, and where the line between reality and illusion is becoming increasingly blurred. So, the next time you see Gucci Mane flashing his pearly whites and spitting out a catchy verse, take a moment to consider the possibilities. Is he the real deal? Or is he a carefully crafted replica, a product of some shadowy organization's twisted agenda? The answer, my friends, is out there, somewhere, waiting to be discovered, or maybe, just maybe, it's better left undiscovered. Some secrets, after all, are best left buried.